Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Liam Rose. I'm a author, mentor, life coach, motivational speaker, evangelist, musician, and activist. In this YouTube video and audio, we're going to be creating a new video and audio for the Spiritually Helping Other People podcast and YouTube channel. I've been creating the Spiritually Helping Other People podcast and YouTube channel to inspire people, to help other people give back and make a difference, to help people learn about Jesus Christ, Jehovah, and Buddha, and to inspire spiritual change and help people to overcome suffering, pain, and adversity. Within this audio, within this video, we're going to be talking about spiritual life coaching. And I'm just going to explain some of the important things that I want to do in spiritual life coaching. It's very important. And I hope you watch this video and understand the message. So spiritual life coaching is really all about finding who you are as a human being. Going through spiritual life coaching helps you to find who you are, right? Obviously, there's life coaching and different types of coaching available for people that want to learn more about themselves, self-discovery, personal development, self-help, and learn more about themselves. The spiritual life coaching is really focused on the faith and the spirituality side of life. So your spiritual development, your faith development, right? So there's different types of spiritual life coaching that's available for people to do. There's loads of different ways of doing spiritual life coaching. It isn't just one way of doing it. There's like a lot of different ways of how you can be a spiritual life coach and do spiritual life coaching. The reasons why I want to do spiritual life coaching is because within my journey, within my life, I've gone through many different challenges, situations, circumstances, suffering, pains, and adversities within my life. And, I feel like I've got the ability and the skills to really use some of the things that I've learned on my journey, just living life, just going through different life experiences, to help people who have been through similar situations or circumstances, or people that are struggling to cope with day-to-day life, or people that are just finding life very, very difficult, very, very challenging. So obviously with my story, it's quite intense, and there's been a lot of situations and a lot of circumstances that I've been through. But the one thing that I wanted to do when I came to spiritual life coaching was to basically help other people give back and make a difference. That's my main reasons for wanting to be a spiritual life coach, because of my own personal situations and my own personal struggles. So I know, how difficult life can be for people, how challenging it can be, sort of the suffering, pains, and adversities you can go through in life. And just basically, life can be very challenging at times, very, very difficult. So with the spiritual life coaching that I want to talk about in this video, in this audio, it's going to be specifically 7 different things that I want people, whoever wanted to learn more about spiritual life coaching, and even work with me as a spiritual life coach. These are some of the things that I want to work on with people, right? So just going to read it. I've got my phone here, so it's just easier for me to read some of the different services I may offer. And if anyone wants to do spiritual life coaching with me, you're very available to do that. I haven't set up my business just yet or legalized my business, but obviously sometime within the future, these services will be available. So you can find me on any of the social media platforms or any of my podcasts as well. So the first thing I really want to help people with when it comes to spiritual life coaching, because this is all spiritual and faithful work, right, is overcoming suffering, pain, and adversity, right? So this becomes the most important thing in a spiritual life coaching that I want to offer. I really feel like so many people are going through suffering, pain, and adversity, and life has become very, very difficult for those human beings, those people. So something that I really want to do is help people overcome suffering, pain, and adversity, which has been one of my most important parts of my life to figure out and to discover. Um, I think more people need to overcome the suffering, pain, and adversity they've experienced in life. The challenges that they've gone through, the situations, because life isn't just like a straightforward line where you achieve your dreams and your accomplishments. Life is an up and down sort of way of living. So it's very important if I can help those people who are going through, suffering, pain, adversity, to help them overcome it and to find, who they really are as a human being, which is very important. So number two, spiritual life purpose and spiritual calling. So I believe once people have basically overcome the suffering, pain, and adversity, they can find their spiritual life purpose and the spiritual calling. Each human being has a unique and different gift to share with the world. We all have skills and abilities and talents that are already part of us, our natural nature, right? So what I want to do with the spiritual life coaching that I want to offer to people is basically help them to find their life purpose, the spiritual calling, what they really want to do within their lives and who they want to become. I think this is very, very important because, we need to have a purpose of our lives. If we don't have a purpose in our lives, then life will lack meaning and life will lack value. So it's so important to find that purpose. So for each human being, it'll be a different thing. I think the spiritual calling is more towards the faith and the spiritual side. Once you find your spiritual calling, then you're able to really live your life on your own terms and live the life you want to live. So spiritual life purpose and spiritual calling is very, very important. So number three, searching for meaning and value. Now, I think in life, it's important. This is why I want to do these spiritual life coachings for people, to find what gives you meaning and what gives you value in life. Now, each human being will have a different thing that gives them meaning and value. Some of it might be their family, some of it might be their friends, some of it might be their children, it might be their career, their employment, their business. It might be just being alone. For each individual, will be a different thing for them. But I really want to help people to find that meaning and value and search for it. Searching for the meaning and value becomes very, very important. And I really want to help people to find that. It's so important in the spiritual life coaching that I really want to offer. So important. Number four, alignment to the spiritual divine assignment. Now, I think like once we go on this journey, and obviously with the spiritual life coaching that, I'm trying to offer to people at some point within the future, I think, alignment to your spiritual divine assignment is the most important thing in life. We've got to find who we are as a human being. We've got to discover that for ourselves. So through basically going through the alignment to spiritual divine assignment, we get to find who we are and what we're put on this earth to do. Each human being is put on this earth to do a specific thing for the Jesus Christ, Jehovah, and Buddha within faith and spirituality. So in spiritual life coaching, I want to help people to discover that. What is my assignment? What do I need to do in life? What is so important to me? What is the most important thing to me? So this becomes very important also as well. Number five, spiritual change. Now, most of my work and most of my content and the things that I've been doing within my life is all focused on spiritual change. I think the spiritual change becomes the most important thing in life, right? And I want to help more people discover that spiritual change. I think the spiritual change always takes time to find. It's like a process to find. It takes a lot of time to find spiritual change, but I want to help people to find that within themselves. Find the light that's already within them, right? The meaning and value that's important for those individuals. So the spiritual change becomes the most important thing. And through the spiritual life coaching, I want to try and help to inspire people to find that within themselves. Number 6, the no self and selflessness. Now, I think once we understood the spiritual change that we need to go through, going through the process of, overcoming your suffering, pain, and adversity, finding your spiritual life purpose, spiritual calling, search for the meaning and value, aligning to your spiritual divine assignment, spiritual change, then we get to discover the no self and selflessness, which is the most important thing in life to discover. All human beings need to discover this within life. And I think it's part of my work in what I've been doing for a number of years to help inspire people to find that, the no self and selflessness, because right now, a lot of people are really stuck with their suffering, pain, and adversity, their challenges and their difficulties. So to help people to find the no self and selflessness will be a transformation of the self. I normally say it's like a transcendence from the self to the no self. You transcend all the things that's happened in your personal life, situations, your circumstances, your challenges, your difficulties, and your struggles. You transcend that to the no self. And when you transcend it to the no self, you discover the no self and selflessness, which is basically the spiritual change. My work is to inspire that spiritual change within people, to help people find that. And I think spiritual life coaching will be able to do that. And then the final spiritual life coaching that I want to talk about is spiritually helping other people. Now, I think this becomes the most important thing in life, right? There's no point of like going through suffering, pain, adversities, and challenges and difficulties and struggles if you're not going to pay it forward, help other people, help humanity, help the animals, help the universe. That's why with the spiritually helping other people, I want to inspire people to do the 5 levels of helping other people, which I've written books about, I've spoken about in audios, podcasts, and videos already. But there are 5 levels to helping other people, which is so important to discover. Once you discover it, there's 5 levels of helping other people. Level 1, volunteering. Level 2, jobs, careers, employment. Level 3, business and entrepreneurship. Level 4, faith and spiritual. Level 5, spiritually helping other people. You're helping other people. And once you do the 5 levels of helping other people, this is where the spiritual life coaching will really be very important for those individuals. And the spiritual life coaching is so important. Like I said in the beginning of the video and the audio, spiritual life coaching is about developing your faith in your spiritual side. I want to take people on a journey of developing their faith in the spiritual side, who they really are as a human being. Help them to find their life purpose, their life calling, their spiritual divine assignment, find the meaning and value within the life, overcoming the suffering, pain, and adversity. And then, help people to really discover who they are and go for a spiritual change. But with spiritual life coaching, this is all to do with spirituality and faith. So you must make sure within the spiritual life coaching you do, if you do want to become a spiritual life coach, you can't focus it on yourself. Even for me, just because I want to be a spiritual life coach doesn't necessarily mean I'm focusing on the work I want to do for people myself. Spiritual life coaches have transcended the self to no self, selflessness, right? So we need to focus on what we can do for others. That's why I'm saying within the audio and video, spiritual life coaches become very important. Of course, there's a lot of organizations, schools, and foundations and centers that do spiritual life coaching. But there's a certain difference between doing spiritual life coaching when you have the clients and the customers in mind of who you're doing the spiritual life coaching for, or doing spiritual life coaching where you're focusing on yourself. So the work I'm trying to do, I'm trying to inspire people, especially with spiritual life coaching, because the words explain how important it is. Spiritual life coaching. It's coaching people to find who they are, their purpose, their calling, their spiritual assignment, their meaning and value, overcoming suffering, pain, and adversity, spiritual change, the no self, selflessness, spiritually helping other people, the 5 levels. Now, part of the spiritual life coaching, which I'll be sort of inspiring people with within the future, this is just something that's going to be happening within the future, right? Is to do the 5 spiritual practices. I've always said if we, really want to go on a transformation journey of our lives, we need to do the 5 spiritual practices. So what are the 5 spiritual practices? Prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling. 5 spiritual practices. Now, I have written a book about the 5 spiritual practices already. I have spoken about the 5 levels of helping other people. So if we do the 5 spiritual practices, prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling, if we do the 5 levels of helping other people, level 1, volunteering, the good level in helping other people, level 2, jobs, careers, employment, the great level in helping other people, level 3, business and entrepreneurship, the highest level in helping other people, level 4, faith and spiritual, the spiritual levels in helping other people, and level 5, spiritually helping other people, the teaching levels in helping other people, then that's when our life sort of changes. And I believe that Jesus Christ, Jehovah, and Buddha is trying to get more people to spiritually change who they are as a human being, change the way they're living, change their mentality, their behavior, characteristics, their qualities, their skills and abilities. So with spiritual life coaching, this can be a start of the journey. Now, I want to encourage the listeners and the viewers. Spiritual life coaching is a transformational process. It's a transformational process of your faith and your spirituality. So if you really, 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 and these are this video is just explaining some of the services that I'll be offering in the future. If you really, really, really want to go for a transformation of yourself, discover the no self and selflessness, and really overcome your suffering, pain, and adversity, the spiritual life coach can be one of those services that can really help you. It's also important to learn as well, overcoming suffering, pain, and adversity is the most difficult thing to do in life. It's very, very challenging. And I think that's the reason why a lot more people are not talking about it, because it's not something that gets discussed like within the public at the moment. It's a very serious thing, but it rarely gets discussed. So overcoming suffering, pain, and adversities has to be the start of the journey. In spiritual life coaching, you'll be going on a journey of self-discovery, finding who you are. When you find who you are, the beauty of it is you discover the no self, selflessness, know thyself. When you know thyself, no self, selflessness, that's when you live life of spiritual freedom, spiritual liberation. Then you actually get to the point of spiritual enlightenment. Now, this is the journey I want people to go on. This is the journey I try to inspire people on through my podcasts, through my audios, and through my books. It's the thing that I talk about the most in all the content that I share. So if you really want to go on the journey, start with transformation of yourself. Overcome your suffering, pain, and adversity. Learn your spiritual life purpose, your spiritual calling. Search for the meaning and value within your life. Search for your spiritual divine assignment. Go for a spiritual change. Discover the no self, selflessness. And then spiritually help other people. The journey. This is a journey of enlightenment. The more people who find spiritual life coaching, find a spiritual life coach, the more people go on the journey. And for my content and for my audios and for this actual audio today, if you do make the decision to go for spiritual life coaching, it has to be a decision that you stick with, be consistent with, and follow it through. You know, go through the process, go through the journey. Now, like I said, I really want to help as many people as I can. That's my intention. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I have already gone through suffering, pain, adversity, you know, so many challenges in my life, which I'm not going to share in this video because it's just too many. But, you know, like I said in the audio and the video already, when you have overcome your suffering, pain, and adversity, and you actually find who you are as a human being, who you really are as a human being, that's when the spiritual enlightenment journey begins. Then you're able to do the 5 spiritual practices: prayer, meditation, mindfulness, walking, journaling, and then do the 5 levels of helping other people. Level 1, volunteering; level 2, jobs, careers, employment; level 3, business entrepreneurship; level 4, faith and spiritual; level 5, spiritually helping other people. You're helping other people. So go on the journey of spiritual enlightenment. Find who you really are. When you find who you really are, you discover the no self, selflessness, and then get to the point of know thyself. You know your life experiences. You know your challenges. You know your difficulties. You understand why you went through what you went through. You understand the complexities of life and the difficulties of life. That's the journey of spiritual enlightenment. So I hope this video has helped, and audio has helped. Just remember, spiritual life coaching is for specific individuals. Like I normally say, it's normally for spiritual seekers or someone that, you know, wants to find, you know, some sort of faith and spirituality within their life, you know, really find it. But it can be very important for those people that do find it. And they will obviously go on their journey, find who they are, and hopefully they'll obviously get an opportunity to help other people, give back, and make a difference if they, you know, spend enough time developing themselves and, you know, finding who they are. So thank you for listening now. Thank you for checking out the video and audio. This will be available on my podcast, Spiritually Helping Other People, which is available on all podcast platforms. I will be posting this on YouTube, so you may be even watching it from YouTube. So the video will be available to Spiritual Life Coaching. And remember, spiritual enlightenment is just the beginning of the journey. So we all need to encourage that spiritual change to help people find that. Okay, thank you for listening now. I hope this has helped. And thank you for listening. Take care now. Bye-bye.